I hear the train whistle far down the line. I hurried myself so I'd be there on time. I hope and I pray that for old time's sake you will step off the train and my heart you will take. I'm watching the train passing by. I'm watching the train passing by. You've forgotten your promise to make me your own. I'm watching the train passing by. Standing at the station each morning am I hear everyone all greeting their own. I think of your promise of a gold wedding ring, a baby so sweet and a little cottage home. I'm watching the train passing by. I'm watching the train passing by. You've forgotten your promise to make me your own. I'm watching the train passing by. Just trying out YouTube live for the first time. Let's try an old song by Gene Watson. The old man told his story about the years gone by, how he played his horn down in New Orleans in some old dingy dive. He said, I knew them all back then, he said, as he reached out for his horn. He closed his eyes and wet his lips, then the blues were born. He played with so much feeling, tears came from his eyes. He stopped and reminisced a bit, and then he gave a sigh, said, you know, I almost made it. But that was before your time. Dixieland, old folks blues, Scatman Jack and wine. Slapped his knee and gave a grin. It sure was good back then. Reaching for his horn on the floor. Placed it in an old tow sack that hung across his back. He said goodbye, then shuffled out the door. Enthused by what he told me, I never got his name, so I called the waitress over and started to explain. A tired old man, his tarnished horn, and a memory of years gone by, how he played his horn and reminisced, sang with tear-dimmed eyes. She said, you are mistaken, there's been no one but you. But I know who you're talking about, I used to know him too. You'll find him down on Basin Street, in back of an old churchyard, a sign that reads, rest in peace. I tried, but it sure was hard. Slapped his knee and gave a grin. It sure was good back then. Reaching for his horn on the floor. Placed it in an old tow sack that hung across his back. He said goodbye, then shuffled out the door. He said goodbye, then shuffled out the door. Now we'll try an Alan Jackson number. Two young people without a thing say some vows and spread their wings, settle down just what they need, living on love. She don't care about what's in style, she just likes the way he smiles. It takes more than marble and tile, living on love. Living on love, buying on time. Without somebody, nothing ain't worth a dime. Just like an old-fashioned storybook rhyme, living on love. It sounds simple, that's what you're thinking, but love can walk through fire without blinking. It doesn't take much when you get enough, living on love. Two old people without a thing, children gone but still they sing, side by side in that front porch swing, living on love. He can't see anymore, and she can barely sweep the floor. Hand in hand they'll walk through that door, just living on love. Living on love, buying on time. Without somebody, nothing ain't worth a dime. Just like an old-fashioned storybook rhyme, living on love. It sounds simple, that's what you're thinking, but love can walk through fire without blinking. It doesn't take much when you get enough, living on love. Living on love, buying on time. Without somebody, nothing ain't worth a dime. Just like an old-fashioned storybook rhyme, living on love. It sounds simple, that's what you're thinking, but love can walk through fire without blinking. It doesn't take much when you get enough, living on love. No, it doesn't take much when you get enough, living on love. One fine summer's morning, as I went a walking, just as the gray dawn flew over the sea, I happened to spy a fair-haired young damsel out tending her flock on the hills of Glenshee. Said I, pretty fair one, will you be my dear one? For I'll take you over, my bride for to be. And this very night in my arms I will hold you, while you tend your flock on the hills of Glenshee. Oh, no, my dear sir, you'll not take me over. None of your footmen will wait upon me, for I'd rather stay home in my own homespun clothing and attend to my flock on the hills of Glenshee. For 20 long years now we've both been together. Seasons may change, but there's no change in I'll never prove false to the girl of Glenshee. She's Mary, my own loving darling. She's as pure as the perfume blows over the sea, and her cheeks are as pale as the white rose of summer that sends out its leaves o'er the hills of Glenshee. She's Mary, my own loving darling, for I love her so, and I know she loves me, and I'll never prove false to my girl where I met her. No, I'll never prove false to the girl of Glenshee. No, I'll never prove false to the girl of Glenshee. When Mexican Joe met Jole Blon, see, wee, how they carried on. He held her tight and danced all night and crossed the border at daylight when Mexican Joe met Jole Blon. Mexican Joe was wild and reckless. He walked into a honky-tonk in Texas. He was looking for some real romance and petting on a barroom stool alone this doll was sitting. She looked around the bar and said, I think I'll have a drink. 3 fingers of tequila should clear my head, I think. She looked around and caught his eye, and Joe said, hi, when Mexican Joe met Jole Blon. Said, lovely senorita, let's go out and paint the town. So he danced her and romanced her, and he showed that gal around. Jole Blon said, I'm so hungry, and she breathed a little sigh. So he fed her feely gumbo enchiladas on the side. Then he held her tight and whispered, won't you be mine for life? She said, oui, monsieur, but tell me, what'll we do about your wife? Joey shouted, ay caramba, I guess I'd better go. So he swam across the river and went back to Mexico. When Mexican Joe met Jole Blon, see, wee, how they carried on. He held her tight and danced all night and crossed the border at daylight when Mexican Joe met Jole Blon. When Mexican Joe met Jole Blon. Well, I taught the weeping willow how to cry, and I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears I cried for that woman are gonna flood you, big river, and I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Well, I met her accidentally in St. Paul, Minnesota. It tore me up every time I heard her drawl a southern drawl. Then I heard my dream was back downstream, cavorting in Davenport, and I followed you, big river, when you called. Then you took me to St. Louis later on down the river. Well, the freighter said she's been here, but she's gone, boy, she's gone. Well, I caught her trail in Memphis, but she just walked up the block. She raised a few eyebrows, then she went on down alone. Right down by Baton Rouge, River Queen, roll it on. Take that woman on down to New Orleans, New Orleans. Go on, I've had enough, dump my blues down in the Gulf. Well, she loves you, Big River, more than me. Yeah, I taught the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. And I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears I cried for that woman are gonna flood you, Big River. And I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Yeah, the tears I cried for that woman are gonna flood you, Big River. And I'm gonna sit right here until I die. I will try one that I did earlier when I was testing YouTube Live. Ye ladies and ye gentlemen, I pray you lend an ear while I locate the residence of a lovely charmer fair. The curling of her yellow locks first stole my heart away, and her place of habitation was down in Logy Bay. 'Twas on a summer's evening this little place I found. I met her aged father, who did me sore confound, saying, if you address my daughter, I'll send her far away, and she never will return again while you're in Logy Bay. How could you be so cruel as to part me from my love? Her tender heart beats in her breast as constant as a dove. Oh, Venus was no fairer, nor the lovely month of May. May heaven above shower down its love on the Star of Logy Bay. 'Twas on the very next morning he went to St. Johnstown and engaged for her a passage on a vessel outward bound. He robbed me of my heart's delight and sent her far away, and he left me here downhearted for the Star of Logy Bay. So now I go out roaming, I can no longer stay. I'll search the wide world over, through every country. I'll search in vain through France and Spain, likewise America, till I will sight my heart's delight, the Star of Logy Bay. Now to conclude and finish the truth to you I'll tell. Between Torbay and Outer Cove, 'tis there my love did dwell. The finest girl e'er graced our isle, so everyone did say. love on the Star of Logy Bay. May heaven above shower down its love on the Star of Logy Bay. Oh hey, thanks for coming out. Anyway, that's it for this evening. I think this will still be up to view later if you want to. And have a great evening. Take care. Bye for now.